I got this.
First and foremost, congratulations. What a run for this horse. You know, you didn't get a lot of respect on the morning line, but how confident were you about the effort that he had in him today?
Well, I was very confident, and I was more worried all week about the going. And, you know, I said, you know, if the going's, you know, I know how he's going to run on firm. I don't know how he's going to run on anything else. And I was very high on him coming into the race. And then when I saw him 50-1, I thought, well, I must be wrong, you know. But he got to run the way that I wanted him to run, and Saez gave him a fantastic ride, and it all turned out well. I wasn't quite sure he got there, but yeah.
Roger, what about 2 years ago? I remember he was under consideration for the Derby, and then he had a little setback that prevented it. That was the year of the September Derby, but nice to make it to Kentucky finally and score Grade 1 here.
Yeah, he really wasn't. I mean, he wasn't going to go to the Derby. I mean,
okay.
You know, he'd won his first 2 races very easily, and Mr. Fipke's a big optimist, and you know, he and quite often he's things work out the way he wants them to. But he was the one that was talking about the Derby, but I had no intentions of going there. I mean, A, I didn't know how he'd run on the dirt. B, I don't know how he'd run a mile and a quarter, and B, didn't have enough seasoning to do that anyway. So, and then he got a little suspensory problem after that anyway, so I had to put him away for 9 months almost, you know.
Was that the break that he had last year, or was that when the suspensory happened with him?
Yeah. And unfortunately, they gave him enough time, which sometimes owners don't really want to give him that much time. Now, I appreciate that, because that kind of injury needs a lot of time, you know. So anyway, but it was the Tampa race that convinced me that he needed to come from off the pace and had 1 quarter mile kick, you know, and so that's how it worked out.
Did he show you anything today that
that's my pony right there?
That's the one you had with him?
Thank you.
Did he show you anything today that he hadn't shown you before, especially maybe against such a slow pace?
Well, at Tampa, when we got him to settle sort of in mid-pack, basically, wasn't it? You know, he wasn't as far out of it as he was today. But it looked like there was some legitimate pace in the race, and you know, I thought that he'd be flying back there anyway, and you know, it all turned out anyway.
What's next, Roger? Have you thought beyond this race, or not?
Not really, no.
What about, can you talk too about the family here? Obviously, you've had the pleasure of training a lot of these, and he comes from such a nice Fipke family, perfect Shirl, and talk about just the incredible success of this whole family.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting family because they've all got their own opinions on life, very much so. This horse is an exception. He's quite easy to train, this horse, but the others are all pretty tricky, and they definitely have a lot of attitude. And it's a family. The perfect Shirl herself was an absolute nightmare as a 2-year-old, and it took us a whole year to get her that she did crash in the gate, and she was very hard to train. But you know, she came around, and she, you know, everything that she's produced has got an attitude also. You know, it's kind of, I mean, I like that, because I like to see if I can get inside a horse's head and work with them, and you know, and they're all different, right? And, so that's I like more than anything else. That part in the morning, you know. Yeah.
You said you hadn't thought beyond this race, but might you look at the Woodford Reserve or it's the old Forester now, on Derby Day, the mile and 1/8 Grade 1 at Churchill, $1 million?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably closed anyway, but I did I nominated him to. I think I nominated him to the Open Verse actually, as well as a grey horse that I have that I probably went over there. But yeah, I mean, I would say a mile and 8's going to be okay for him. You know, we'll have to look into it. I'll talk to him and I'll say that you put it into my head.
Yeah. She gets a bonus.
Yeah.
Well, how great is Roger?
That's one final question. How great is it having, grade ones are hard to come by. How great is it knocking off this grade 1 for you?
Oh, it's a lot because, I'm getting older now and I've cut back a lot. I don't, I only train in about 20 horses now and a grade 1 is always great to win in the first place, but, it gets better as you get older. I keep thinking you may be able to keep going for a bit longer,
Your horse, obviously,
it's not going to be a happy one.
Well, it was a tough beat.
You look like you were laughing about, can you believe this, or?
I mean, I couldn't tell until they announced it, but obviously, first start over here, fantastic run. Had been working very, very well. Chad was very happy with him, and I think Jock had him in the right place. We kicked past the horse that we thought we had to beat, and then just got nailed. But I mean, it's still probably the best horse won on the day, but we're going to be very happy, looking forward to a nice year with this guy,
Yeah, for sure. Get a little more out of him than you thought you might for a first race over here.
Yeah, probably. I mean, and he's only run his best race at 7 furlongs, so he still has to learn how to relax maybe a little bit more and have a little bit more kick for the finish of his races. And I think when he, we know what big race we'll be pointing to at the end of the year. We know he runs well over the track. Yeah. So
would you, talking about getting that kick going, would you think about the mile and 8 on the grade 1 Derby day? Or
talk to the trainer.
The other bourbon?
I doubt it because he was a little bit too much on the bridle, but that'll be something to A, for Chad to have an opinion on, and B, to talk to the owners about.